Let's be honest here, Matt, okay? A lot of parents would love 1 hour face-to-face with the director of one of the hottest youth academies in America, just to ask the questions no one ever gave you straight answers to.
We were lucky to get that. What really matters? What scouts actually look for? What gets a kid noticed? And whether your player is truly ready for that level.
Yeah, well, you know what, parents, as Matt said, lucky for you. You can't be in that room, but Matt and I were. Take off those rose-colored glasses. If your kid wants to be among the best of the best, the top of the top, you got to listen to what it takes.
Yeah, this is just not a conversation about talent. It's a conversation about profile, identity, standards, and what a serious academy is actually trying to build.
Our guest today is Jose Campos, Academy Director at Orlando City. And he brings a rare mix to this conversation: scout, recruiter, academy leader, and a real business and system mind. He thinks in detail, structure, numbers, long-term outcomes.
So in this episode, we get into what Orlando City is actually looking for, how Jose thinks about player profiles, what separates performance from potential, and what families misunderstand about the pathway at the highest levels.
Director Campos, welcome to Chasing the Game. Great to have you with us. We can't wait to hear your story.
I started like everybody. I tried to play soccer professionally, and I didn't make it as far as I wanted. So the moment that you start realizing that you're not going to make millions in soccer is the moment that you start realizing the second pathway. But, the truth is, once you realize that you don't going to make it as far as you want, you start your career with coaching licenses, scouting licenses, anything that you can do. I did my degree in business, sports management. I left home, I left Spain with a little bit of experience already scouting for agents, mostly, who are the ones who kind of need help and will rely on 22-year-old kids in experience more than professional clubs. So I started with agencies and I started coaching in local clubs, and then did a little bit of moving around the world. Went to England first, and then 12 years ago, I arrived to North America. And even during my 12 years here, I spent some time in China, in Nigeria, working in soccer. And in this country, well, I went to Boston, New Jersey, Oregon for 5-6 years. I went to school in Oregon, did an MBA in sports management in Oregon, and then New York, and now Orlando. So I like to move. I think it's important to see soccer in multiple cultures, environment. Soccer in Nigeria has nothing to do with soccer in China. Soccer in China has nothing to do with soccer in England. And it's not even better or worse. Now, my first realization of soccer is now it's different depending on where you are. It's moving from Spain to England. Spain, I left Spain 2012, prime Spain, tiki-taka, won a World Cup in 2010. Everybody wanted to play everybody wanted to play Spain. You go to England, and first team that I'm actually playing, amateur, semi-pro, whatever, long ball. I'm a center mid, and I didn't see the ball in the entire game. It was, imagine long leagues, very, very lower leagues in England. It was long balls back and forth. No, so, but it works. And just because it's not the soccer that I'm used to doesn't mean that it doesn't work, and it doesn't mean it doesn't work for that environment. So you can realize really quickly, okay, at the end of the day, the game is all about the players, and it's all about the culture around the game in whatever you are. So I took all of that experience, and I started coaching in college. And when I started coaching in college is when I realized how much I love scouting. I think I'm a good coach, but I don't think I'm the best coach. And I wanted to win. That's something that I do have. I wanted to win at absolutely everything I do. So when I started coaching in college, I realized it doesn't matter how good as I am as a coach. If I don't have the best players, I'm not going to win. So I went out there and I started recruiting. And I remember telling my wife 3 months before the season, hey, I already won the league. And my wife, trying to always humble me down all the time. She was like, how do you mean you already won? It's 3 months before the season started. I have a super team. And if I have a super team, I'm going to put the pressure on myself, and I'm going to win the league. So that's how my love for scouting started. I just love scouting and recruiting. If I had the best players, I'm going to win. And I love winning. So from that to becoming a technical director for GMA, which is a group in New York that owns Capelli Sports and that also owns multiple clubs in Europe, to then becoming head scout of Orlando City Academy, to now becoming academy director. All with the same passion.
Amazing. Wow, what a journey. How do you think about, now that you're running an academy and are responsible for all of it comprehensively, how do you think about the recruiting and the scouting piece as it fits into what you're trying to do around development and what Orlando City looks and stands for?
Absolutely. It's still the key base of everything. To me, everything starts with your game model, philosophy, style of play. This is who we are as Orlando City. Again, something that is important to learn from being in multiple places. Spain plays one way, therefore needs a specific profile of players. England plays a different way, needs and is looking for a different profile of players. What is the style of Orlando City? How does Orlando City play? What's Orlando City style and what's Orlando City methodology? And therefore, what profiles of players you're looking for? Something that I'm always very keen. If I don't know what I'm looking for, I'm not going to find it. So I need to know what striker I'm looking for. I need to know what right back I'm looking for. And then I can go on there and watch hundreds of games to find that guy who fits my model, who fits the way I'm going to play. So when you have that pieces together, you have a good game style, game model, methodology. You have good, obviously, coaches around the players. And then you find their right players, obviously super talented, the 1% of the 1%, the best of the best in the country. Then that's how you bring success to an MLS academy. You know, you have the right players, super talented players, and then obviously surround those players with the best staff as well.
That style is important to you. So was there, just so we understand, to get to know you a little bit, because it's, as Matt and I explore soccer around this country, was there a coach, a club, or an experience in your career that you would say shaped you or made you who you are today as far as how you see the game?
I would say my time in Nigeria was shocking. I was very short, but I never seen more talented players than I saw in Nigeria. In Nigeria, more committed players. They will walk an hour and a half just to go to practice. They will play without shoes or with broken shoes in fields that here when the referee will call it unplayable every single day. And they were so talented. They will control a ball in a bouncy field with the holes of nothing. But the lack of the tactical game. And you understand, okay, but it's so technical, so physically strong, so mentally strong. They're working an hour and a half to be at practice. They're physically above everybody else, and they're more technical than anybody I haven't seen. How are these guys not good enough at soccer? And it's because they were tactically lost. Because Nigeria, unfortunately, doesn't have the resources to teach the players the game. They don't have licenses for the coaches. They don't have enough coaches. They don't have qualified coaches because they don't have licenses to provide for them. So because of that, coach in Nigeria cannot teach the game because he doesn't know it himself. He might know a little bit, he has played, but just because you're a good soccer player doesn't mean you're a good coach. Maradona was an amazing soccer player. He wasn't a good coach. So you could be a good player and not necessarily a good coach. Nigeria used to have a lot of good players as coaches, but if you don't have the qualifications, the license, the experience, the whole education package, it's hard to teach the game to the little ones. So it was frustrating because you can see those 10, 11, 12 years old, incredibly talented, that you think if I take them from this environment and put them in mine, we'll see where these guys are going to go. But unfortunately, you can't. So that made me realize that depending on where you are, you're missing something. When I was in China, then physically not really strong, but good enough. Technically good enough. I was okay, why are Chinese players not really good at soccer? Culture wasn't there. And then the mentality wasn't there. It's a culture where the generation that I was coaching was a generation that grew up with only one kid per family. So the parents who have suffered hunger in China now try to make sure the kids have everything in life that they never had. So it's not that the kids were spoiled, but they were under kind of a bubble, very kind of protected. And at the same time, it's still a culture that punish you. You make a mistake. You make a mistake at home, you get punished. You make a mistake in school, you get punished. So you have a U14 striker missing a 1v1 situation, which is perfectly fine. Okay, it's not that you're better or worse. It's depending on where you are, you're missing something. And us as educators or working in the youth development, we need to find out what is that guy missing to make it to complete a final package and then help him or her get there. I always have conversation with my coaches and they're, hey, Jose, I want a center back that is 6'3", left-footed, good playing out of the back, good in the air, good defending 1v1s. Like, sure, if I find that, I send it to the first team coach. It's full package. He has everything. If I find a center back that absolutely has everything, he's not going to come to a U15, U16 or U18 team. He's going to go directly pro. When you're coaching a U15, U16, U18 player, U12, he's missing stuff. He's missing a lot of tools to make it to pro. So your job is to identify those tools and obviously help him or her get to have all those tools to make it to the next level. So that's why always shape me? Okay, I need to understand who is in front of me and why is that person missing. And that's my job as an educator. It's not to win a game tomorrow. My job is I have 20 players in front of me. You're missing something, you're missing something, you're missing something. All of you are missing something. And that's not wrong. It's just you're still not a complete package. Once you are, you will be making millions in the first team. My job is to help all of you to the best of my abilities.
I think when any of us walk into a new job, you want to assess everything from the top to the bottom, how things are done. I mean, you were in charge of scouting, so you had obviously familiarity with the club. But then what was your process for walking into a professional academy, and what are the biggest changes that you've made since you've been there?
I would say the academy was already in a very good shape. So to me, the first rule was don't fix what's not broken. Even though I know the club, because I was director of scouting of the academy, I know the academy, but it's still, you have a completely different perspective when you are academy director than when you are the director of scouting. So now my first few months, and I'm still, honestly, I haven't even finished my first season, is still evaluating the different departments that we have. To me, this is my lineup. My lineup as a head coach is a goalkeeper, a left back, a striker. My lineup as an academy director is my scouting department, my technical coaching methodology department, my medical department, my performance department, my nutritionist department. So I have multiple departments. If they all work well and they're all strong and they're all the best of they can be, then we're going to be the best. So I had to replace myself and my assistant in the scouting department because we both went to different jobs. So I have to rebuild that department. I have to change staff in the medical department. I have to hire new people in the performance department. I need to hire new coaches as well. The first thing I did was the new culture that we're trying to play. And same thing with players. What's the profile of players that we're looking for? What's the profile of the staff that we're looking for? Is it someone more experienced? Is it someone younger that we can help shape and mold? Is it someone focused on winning? It's a lot of things that I think the profile of the staff is equally important, the profile of the player. And if you're trying to have a culture of development, but then you hire coaches who want to win, that won't work. And the other way around, if you're trying to win and you hire coaches that are trying to develop, it's not going to work. So as a director, I think same thing, you have to analyze your team. And my team now is the staff. And then who fits here? We have 27 full-time members. I call them my family because I spend more time there than with my actual family. Yeah. So I call my purple family. So I spend a lot of time with my purple family. So I would love to bring people that are obviously going to fit well in this family. You don't want to bring anybody into your family. And at the same time, people who fit that culture that you're trying to create.
The question is, what is an Orlando City player in your eyes?
I think there are a couple of things that are non-negotiable. Respect. Players who are respectful to referees, coaches, staff members, competitors. Even though we don't train to win, we do to win. But we don't train for that. We don't prepare the game for that. We develop players, but then we try to have the best players, the best staff, and we're all competitive. We're all heavily competitive, so we end up winning. But we end up winning as a result of doing things well. But with players who have that passion, that love to compete, to be better than the guy next to them. We want people with growth mindset. Players and staff, but definitely players. If a player is not coachable, if a player is not someone that I can tell you, hey, that wasn't good enough. What do you mean wasn't good enough? Blah, 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 blah. No, that wasn't good enough. If you don't have that growth mindset that I can come to you with my best intention, trying to help you be better. I'm trying to help you go pro. I need to be able to tell you that you're not doing things well, a complete package yet. You're missing stuff and I'm here to help you. You can take feedback. You can be here. So there is multiple things that are non-negotiable regardless of the position.
Are you that involved in the day-to-day sometimes with the players themselves?
Just because my background now, I came from scouting, so I recruited at this point 80% of the academy. So I'm still that involved with the players, and that's one of the things that a director needs to have, not only the technical side, but also think that we are all in a business. Everybody's selling something. Unfortunately, in life, nothing's free, and everybody's selling something. Orlando City is free. We don't charge anything to the players. We provide a wonderful environment, school, travel, everything for free. What are we selling? We're selling pros. We're developing pros that hopefully make it to the first team, and opportunity cost. You didn't spend money for that player that you have now in the first team, or you actually sell it and make money in return. So you have to think business-wise, no? And you have to think that you're still selling something. So for me, that mentality is always, I'm here to develop pros. I'm here to make you better because you gotta make it to the next level. Okay, so a Orlando City player has to be someone that I'm comfortable to going to make it to the second team or the first team. That's why I need to be involved, because a coach will get mad at a player, but the player is a $5 million player. Listen, you got to deal with him. You got to deal with him. Sorry. And I tell everybody, there's some crazy parents out there. I'm sure there are some crazy parents hearing this podcast at some point.
Never heard of it.
Two of them across the screen from you, maybe.
And I tell everybody, like, listen, you have values, you have morals. Not everything is allowed. The player has a problem with the coach. You have to intervene. You have to intervene because you have to think in the long-term success of the club, and that player is going to be an MLS All-Star, MLS Best 11 player, MLS First Team player, a national team player. Listen, you got to work with that kid. You have to put resources into him. And if he's a mess, okay, we have a mental performance coach, we have a psychologist. Like, use those resources on him to help him. But you cannot give anybody, a strength and conditioning coach, head coach, a scout, medical, you cannot give the absolute power of I don't like this player, or I don't like his dad or his mom. We don't know. It's a U15 player. You're trying to predict if that player is going to make it to the first team. How much is that player's valuation? And at the end of the day, that's what we're here for. Again, we're here to develop players, but we're here to develop players selfishly and unselfishly. Unselfishly, because I believe everybody working in the academy is there for the players and is really have a strong heart on developing players and helping those kids. And then selfishly, because that's what pays the bill. I cannot go to Orlando City owner, which is a successful business person, and be, hey, I don't have any player for your first team. I don't have any players to sell, but I have this $10 trophy for you that I got by winning some random playoff. Do you want it? I need, by the way, I need a few millions to pay the bills for next year. It's not going to happen. Okay, so our job is to continue to develop players and promote them to the second team and first team. And even we don't sell them, as long as they are there, that's what we're here.
That's massive.
And we've heard often that whether it's an MLS Next team or an MLS Professional Academy team, that there are the 3 or 4 stars that each team is aligned around that have been identified as the Rockets, maybe. We've heard that also. And then there are quote unquote filler players. You have to fill out a roster. They may develop late. They may become a pro, or they may become a college player, or whatever it may be. I'm just curious how you think about that at Orlando City.
I'm a numbers guy. I'm again, business, finance, numbers, all of that. So I think there are players with higher chances than others. Doesn't mean that they're a safe bet. All the other ones are fillers. I do think X amount of player may have a 3% chance to make it, and the other one may have a 1% chance to make it. The chances are always low. To make it to the pro level is always the 1% or the absolutely 1%. So many success stories of players who got released and then develop a little bit later and they make it. For me, obviously, I tell my coaches, not every single player in the roster is going to play equal time. This is not pay to play. We have players who play more than the other, but we also have players who earn it more than the other, who train better than the other, who has more quality than the other. And soccer is life. You want it to be fair and everybody gets the same playing time, but the truth is, he's better than me. He's going to make more money than me. And I think you need to teach that to the players. You want to be better academy director than them. I want to be the best academy director in the league. And if I'm the best academy director in the league, at some point I'm going to go to my boss and I want to make more than these guys because I'm better than him. And you do that as an adult. Why are we not going to do that as a U15 player? I am better than him. I'm a better player than him. And I earn being better than him. I work harder than him. I've been training more than him. On the days off, I've been training and he hasn't. Why is he going to play the same amount of time than me? That's not fair either. So there are players who are going to play more than the other because they are better players than others and because they're training better. I don't think you can put all the eggs in one basket. I don't think you can put all the eggs in 2 or 3 players because ACL tomorrow, the other one gets burned out. I think every player in Orlando City Academy has to have a chance to go pro. Some more than others because they are better than the others. But if you have 0 chance to go pro, we spend X amount of money a year in the academy, you can divide that by the 120 players that we have, and that gives you the cost per player. If I'm spending that much money in one player and that player has absolutely 0 chance to make it, it's money thrown out literally out the window. So that's my mentality. Everybody should be able to go pro. Not everybody's going to make it. And some people does have more chances than the other, but you can't ignore the player 16 in your roster because he might make it.
This idea of college path is an important one, right? Kids going to D1 schools or whatever. Is that not considered a success for a club like Orlando City because you're tied in directly into the pro club?
I would not call it a failure to go to college. We have a college placement staff as part of our staff. So we are actually promoting going to college to those players who are not ready at that time. Again, not being ready at 17 doesn't mean that you're not good enough. It's something that is very important. In my country, Spain, I only see a couple of guys ready at 17. I'm a Real Betis fan. If I see a 17-year-old player at the second team at Betis, I will be buying his jersey. In America, it looks like you don't make it to pro at 16, 17, you're not good enough. And that's not true. At 15, 16, you still have a lot of years of development left. Truth is, you see most of the players in the Premier League, in La Liga, and Bundesliga, in those countries, they will make it to the first team 19, 20, 21. So you come into the academy at 14, you want to go pro at 17, that's 3 years. That's the same amount of years of development that you have from 17 to 20. So you're trying to speed up your process, your development process, who might be from 14 to 20 in half, from 14 to 17, which, don't get me wrong, some players do. Some players are that good or that physically ready or that whatever reason that are ready at 16, 17. But some others are not. And just because you're not ready at 16, 17 doesn't mean that you're not going to be ready at 19, 20.
I think that's the biggest mindset shift in America that has not yet happened, but we're in the process, which is there are kids now who are many of them who are not ready at 17, which is normal, who then go on to play in college, who then play in the summer in a USL League 2 team, or maybe even a USL League 1 team, right? And then, or they're playing on an MLS Next Pro team. Yeah. And so the pathways are becoming far greater than they were 5 years ago or 10 years ago. And hopefully our mindset starts to shift, which is let's not write kids off just because they're deciding to go play college and focus on academics.
Absolutely. And that's my only thing with college. I do think the college level is pretty high level. My only concern is it's a 3-month season, 4-month season. That's my only thing. College become a 9-month season. They have great facilities, great coaches, great teams. The rosters are pretty strong. There are good teams. You play great competitions. You have everything you need to develop a player. So it will continue to happen. Now, I'm not a fan just because of the short season. But if you make it a 9-month season, I can see college being the best third division in this country right away.
So if you're seeing a U15, let's say, where they stand out physically over everybody else, how do you distinguish between that physical dominance at a certain age and what you call long-term potential?
I mean, there are players who are early developers and there are players who are late developers. And I think you have to understand that US soccer, for example, in their scouting reports, they give you a -1 if you're an early developer, and they give you a +1 if you're a late developer. They also give you a -1 if you're a Q1 born baby, and they give you a +1 if you're a Q4 baby. Is it perfect, the system? No, being 10 months older than or 10 months younger than someone in your team makes a huge difference at U11s. But you have to take that into account at U11, U12, U13s. You have to take into account U13 and U14s when you hit puberty. I have U13 guys right now on my size, and I have U13 guys right now that are still pretty tiny little kids, and that's perfectly fine. Just because you're an early developer doesn't make you a bad player. And just because you're a late developer doesn't make you a good player either. Sometimes people complain, oh, my son is too small. That's why he doesn't get opportunity. Your son doesn't have a left foot. That's also, we have to take into account.
Oh, yeah, that thing,
yeah. Or you see an early developer and it's, oh, well, he's just an early developer. Well, he's also great in duels, great playing on the back, great defensively. He's also great in multiple things. He's also big. So he has a complete package. And you need to look at the player without necessarily focus so much on immediate performance. I think a scout has to see the difference between performance and potential. Performance is how good you are right now. Potential is how good you can be. I was saying before, every player is missing something. Everybody. So a key to a good scouting is understanding why is that player missing and how long does it take to teach. If a player is missing growing, that's going to happen organically. I don't even need to do anything. My coach doesn't need to know anything. We just have to wait. So we have to wait for him to grow. But what he's missing is left foot. He's 16 years old. It's very, very unlikely that my coaches, as good as they are, will be able to teach him to use his left foot or his weaker foot at 16 years old. So the chances of him becoming a complete package are very low. Doesn't mean that he's not good, so he might be able to perform right now, but he's not going to perform at a higher level because he need that tool. He need his weaker foot at the higher level, and I won't be able to provide him that tool because I don't have the time to do it. He's 16 and he doesn't have it. Now he's U11 and he's missing X, Y, and Z. Okay, that's fine. Plenty of time to fix it. plenty of time. So it is really important to understand that a scout is a evaluator and the coach is a professor. You need to understand what the professor is teaching at that age so you can evaluate it.
We hear a decent amount about professional academies scouting from far outside of their regions. Are you looking for kids from other academies regularly, or do you have so much talent in Florida that you don't even bother?
I think my structure when I was a scout, and it's still the same with the new scouts in the academy, is by U11, U12, try to keep the team very Orlando based. So try to focus on grabbing the best player from your city. U13, U14, start going to Tampa. So now you're having the best players from North Florida. And now U15 and older, trying to get the best players from the country. So if you do that, 75, 80% of your roster will still be from North Florida. South Florida, you include Miami as well. I would say 80, 90% of my roster is still from Florida. But I don't mind if I see a special player here and there to go after that guy if he's in a different market. We also have to think that one, America is too big and there's only 30 MLS academies. So there's a lot of markets without a team where I love to come and recruit. Las Vegas, love Vegas. Not for the gambling, I love Vegas because it's a massive city and doesn't have an MLS team, which means they have a lot of talent without a competitor. That's perfect to go and recruit. And Alabama, Detroit, those are big markets that doesn't have an MLS team that you can come and recruit the best players, and we do that often. It's important to be there first. And then second, it's really hard to cover everything. It's really hard. Professional team in Spain, my team, Real Betis, first division, fifth in the league right now, will have 60, 70 scouts. I have to. Spain, Barca will have 100. Real Madrid will have 100. Other teams will have 50, 60. We can expect two guys to cover even Florida. So there are players that you may miss that someone else finds sooner than you.
Ultimately, then you're creating the great opportunity to drive value and to sell players. But with two scouts and the size of this country, or even to your point, the size of Florida alone, make investments in scouts, find the best possible kids, and then the rest follows.
Yeah, I mean, you rely on two things. You rely on, first, you have to be fair. I don't have enough coaches. I don't have enough athletic trainers. And Orlando City is one of the clubs who invest the most in the academy. We're one of the ones who started the youngest. We started U11. I think only Red Bull, Philly, and us are one of the few who started that young. So one of the reasons why we're one of the best academies in the country is because we started that young. So we are investing more than others. And I still have to invest in all the departments equally, not just put all the baskets in a scout, even though I'm a scout myself. And I would love to have a dominance of more scouts than ever. But then you also rely on the self-placement, on the understanding that the talent eventually find his way to you. You're that dominant. And again, looking for the 1% or the absolute 1%, I'm looking for people who are ridiculously good. I think eventually you find your way to us. But you rely on that hope that someone sees you, someone recommends you to someone plays you. There's so many programs between MLS Next, ECNL, ODP. There are so many talent programs that eventually, if you're that dominant, if you're that good, eventually someone will see you even in a park and will tell you, hey, go and play for this MLS Next team. And once you're in an MLS Next team, you're that dominant, someone will see you in feds or flags. So we can watch a lot of videos in Taika. We have now, eventually at some point, I think we have access to data to see who is the guy who scored the most goals. Maybe that's not realistic data, but maybe it's something that is worth looking. If someone is scoring 50 goals in 25 games, I don't say he's good enough for me, but maybe worth looking. There are simple data that you don't need to have big data or massive, data analysis to just trying to look at them. And again, that's also part of the responsibility of the player. And I know not everybody has that ambition, but I think a player should also be out there trying to be seen, trying to look for opportunities, trying to reach out to people. You're looking for a job. And I told that to my guys, you're here in a job interview every day. Every day you're in a job interview. You're applying for a $1 million job. You're applying for a $300,000 job. So you better be ready for that interview. And I know you're 14 or 13 or 16, doesn't matter. But you're applying for a first team salary. You're applying to get into the academy, which eventually may help you get into a first team job. But you are a job. You are a worker. First team player is a soccer player, and we all love them and cheer for them on the weekend, but they're an employee. They have 401k like everybody else, just a bigger one. And as an employee, they have a job and they can get fired. from their job.
Yeah.
So you're here every single day, and we promote our guys to train with the second team, to train with the first team. When they do well, they may go on a game for the second team and play for 10 minutes. That's a job interview. You're presentable, you do well, you compete, you do your job, you may get another one. You may get the job. You may get that salary. So for the guys who are there looking for that $100, $300, $1 million job, they also have to do a little bit on their end to be found.
Are there things that, for example, that are no substitute for live viewing when you see a player, or you think you can get everything by video and highlights?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. When you evaluate a player, you evaluate physical, tactical, technically, and mentally. When you're watching on video, you can get a lot, but the mental side of the game, maybe not. And the video doesn't always follow the player. Sometimes, most of the times, follow the ball. So if I'm looking at a player tactically and he's away from the game, let's say he's a right wing and the ball is on the left back, I want to know where is he positioned. It's hard to see that in video because he might not be on frame. You need to see a player 8 times, 12 times. You're probably going to do 9 out of 12 in video, but you can watch him 2 or 3 live. That helps you. That gives you the quality scouting versus the quantity scouting. And you need both. I think you need both. How he reacts with his teammate, how he reacts with the referee, how he reacts with his coach. If his coach gives him instruction, does he pick it up quickly, or he still doesn't know where he's at? So you can be very, very technical player. You can be very techy, but the coach tells you, hey, press the left back, and you are on your own wall. That's not good enough. Okay, so there's a lot of things that you can see on the field that is hard to see on video. And so I think you need to do both. But eventually, video gives you the opportunity. I can be on my home, just watching 2 or 3 games, 1.52 speed, and you see when the player touches the ball and then see it. You know, I can clip his best moment and then have a highlight video of that player. There's a lot of things that I can do in video that gives me volume. But if you have the chance, watching it live gives you more information. Being a scout is all about making a decision. Do I like this player or do I not like this player? It can be yes or no. It can be flipping a coin. The more times you watch the player, the more information you get on the player, whether it's talking to the player himself, his parents, his agent, he has one, his coach, his director. If you can get that much information on him, and with all the info, the more info you can gather, the closer to the right decision you're going to make. I think my scouts, their job is to make a decision. If they sign 30 players in a year and 27 work out and 3 doesn't, you're a good scout. But if it's 50-50, then I don't need you, because all I need to do is go to a game and flip a coin. And you're in a 50-50 percentile, you're not a good scout.
Can you talk a little bit about the identity of the American player? Think of the U.S. national team. Let's start there.
Yeah.
What is the identity of that team? And then when you think of positionally the American player, what are you seeing both in Orlando City and then generally speaking when you look overall and at the positional level?
It's tricky. North America is so big that you can't generalize, because a player in California, mostly Latino, and not only Latino, Mexican Latino, which is different than the Latino in Florida, which is Colombia, Puerto Rico, Cuba. It's completely different. Now, even though we categorize the same thing, people call me European. I'm a Spaniard. Myself and a Swedish guy, not the same. Okay? Being someone Latino would be like, oh, okay, well, Mexican and Colombian, we're not the same. A Colombian and Argentinian, we're not the same. So you go to California, it's a high population of Mexicans playing soccer. You go to Chicago, and it's a combination of Mexican, Polish, American combo, or weird combo, but a combo that works out pretty well. It's a very good market for soccer. New York, you guys know, players from everywhere. Florida, we have more Central America, South America, Latinos players. You go to Alabama, Georgia, you have African American players who are a little more physical, while the Latinos are a little more techies, not to make players, they're more creativity. Like I said before, Nigeria, China, England, Spain, we're all different. I think America has so many different cultures, so much diversity that you can honestly make any team you want. Now, US soccer has their game model, has their profiles. They get it right, they get it wrong, that's up to them, and they're also obviously very good at what they're doing. But US soccer has their own profiles. And what US soccer wants as a striker, maybe it's not the same what Orlando City wants for a striker. And we have conversation within the national team all the time about our players, because they're looking to bring them in for the U15, U16s, and it's a healthy conversation. Sometimes, yeah, Jose, really, your winger doesn't fit my profile. Doesn't mean my winger is not good enough for US soccer level. It's just US soccer is looking for a different type of winger, which is fine because I signed that winger because it fits me. And when I signed that winger, I say no to other wingers who are probably good too because he didn't fit me either. So Spain plays one way, US soccer plays one way. And I think that question of what's the US soccer identity is for US soccer to answer alone. But the country doesn't fit that way. In Spain, there are players who don't fit tiki-taka. In Spain, we have 6'5" center backs who cannot pass the ball, but they will murder you in it. They're never going to play for Spain national team, but they are Spaniards. So just because you don't fit the cultural way of play doesn't mean that you're not a good player. So US soccer has their game model and style, but America has a lot of culture, a lot of diversity, a lot of type of players, which is great because you have a scouting department who understands your needs. You have a big pool to pull from and a lot of different profiles of players, which is great.
So does the profile change based upon who's leading the men's national team, for example?
It could. Again, the national team being as flexible and with a bigger pool of players, you can. In a club, it's different. It's harder to change a profile because I think in America we're not there yet, but in Spain we always say that the first team plays like the academy, not the academy like the first team. Like Barca first team plays like La Masia, possession style. So Barca always going to hire coaches who play that way. North America has the beneficial or the beauty of having so much diversity and a pool of players that you can change both game model and profiles quick enough. In the academy, it's harder now. The national team is different because the national team doesn't have an academy. The national team has thousands of academies. Orlando City play one way, Red Bull plays a different way. I like my way better than Sean's way. Not really Sean's way, Red Bull's way. But that doesn't mean that Sean's way is not really good. And Red Bull has really, really strong players. And we're seeing them right now in the first team, how well they're doing. So just because the styles are different doesn't mean that we both cannot develop players for all style of play. And because of that, the national team has hundreds of thousands of academies to pick from. As college to pick from, have 30 MLS academies to pick from. So you could be adaptable to the coach that you have and the generation that you have. You may have a generation that is more physical and transitional. You may have a generation that is more possession style. Why not kind of fit you to the players instead of the players to you? And I think in the professional level, you have two types of coaches. You have the Guardiolas of the world. This is how I play. Go and bring me the players. And you also have the classic coach that you always hire when you're fighting for relegation. Listen, this is what you go, make it work. So I think there's always the two types of coaches that you get, which is the problem with pay to play. That sometimes coaches want to play one way, but in their tryouts, they get 22 players. They have to pick 18 and you get what you get. And there's nothing wrong with what you get. But if you're trying to fit a square into a circle, it's not going to work. So if you have those 18 players in a pay-to-play model where you don't really have a lot of chances to scout or recruit, you should fit to them. You as a coach should fit to the players that you have. That would be my recommendation. In Orlando City, we don't. We have the luxury that we can scout, we can recruit, so we can have a style and bring the players who fit that style. But you don't have the luxury to recruit, to scout, and to bring whoever you want. You should look at who is in front of you and you adapt to them. And I think as a national team coach, what 11 style of play, formation, game model, everything fit these 11 guys. And depending on the generation, it might change. Spain is harder because the entire country plays that way and develop plays that way. And it's a country culture, it's an identity. In Italy, very defensive, it's an identity. England, very transitional, it's a country identity. I don't think the US is so big that it's hard for them to have a country identity because soccer is still too young in this country and the country is too big. As I said before, you have too many cultures, too much diversity that it's impossible to kind of generalize or, okay, this is who we are. So I will adapt if I were the US national team coach, I will adapt myself to who are my 30 best players. Okay, they're Pulisic, they're Weah, McKinney. Okay, these are my guys. How can I fit them to make it work and then go with it? So be adaptable to them.
So if my kid, let's say, was lucky enough to get a trial at Orlando City, and I'm a parent who doesn't understand a lot about soccer, What would be kind of my advice for the kid? Okay, show, meaning that, let's say if this kid is not inherently a kid who is an outward and maybe they play great off the ball, but they go, no, you only have 20 minutes to show and you got to, I don't know, do a 360 and you got to, I have no idea, shoot from every corner. I mean, what would be your advice for? I have no idea.
He's using basketball analogies.
No idea. You do a pick and roll, and then you shoot a three, and then. So what? My question is: as you're sitting in the car with that kid, you're lucky enough to get to that trial. What would be your advice for that family as they kind of try to direct that kid for that day?
I think the easiest advice is be yourself. You are getting a trial to Orlando City because we saw you before. You don't get a trial with Orlando City because you win a lottery or you apply somewhere and you get it. They already watch you in video multiple times. They probably already watch you in person already. But if not, that's what the trial is for. The main reason to bring someone on trial is to see how he does in practice. What I was saying before, can he pick up information? If the coach tells you, hey, your hip is not in the right direction every time you hit the ball, how long will it take you to figure it out to fix it? If I'm telling you, press this guy, how long will it take you to figure out that? Because at the end of the day, that's something that we look for. You're good, but I need to teach you more stuff. If I need to tell you things 10 times, you're not picking information quick enough. Ideally, you try to tell the kid to calm down. Everybody's always naturally nervous. Day one, which I understand, you can see how day one they're a little nervous. Day two, they get into more to be out of their shell. Day three, they start to feel comfortable. So the sooner they start that process of being nervous to kind of get comfortable, the better. But that's the best advice you can tell them. Just be yourself and just have fun playing soccer. Because if you're the panicking, this is the only chance I got, this is my opportunity, and my blue, and my dad's going to kill me if I do, you're panicking. You're panicking. You're already 1-0 down. You're really losing. You're really losing. But if you come, you show yourself, you do the best you can, you have fun playing soccer. It might work, it might not work. But it might not work now, but it might work 6 months from now. And I have players on trial who have left a terrible impression because attitude and personality and all of that. And we never brought them back. And we have players who we have brought on trial 2 or 3 times because we like what we saw. We may need to see more, or what we saw, he wasn't ready, but he's close enough. Let's see him again in 6 months. So you can have a successful trial and not get an offer. And you can have a really, really bad trial just by attitude.
When you do select a player, what's the commitment from the club? Is it a 12-month commitment? Is it a 2-year commitment?
Yeah, we normally give every player a year, 12 months, but also depends on the season. Now, right now we're in March, we finish in June. By any chance of finding a random player, we're trying to not sign players from other clubs in the middle of the season because it does hurt them. So we're trying to wait. But let's say we do sign someone in February, March, we're not going to release them in June. So we selling them the end of the season plus one more. There's multiple reasons why you can extend someone's commitment more than a year. Maybe someone has to leave the country for a few months for family reasons. Maybe you get injured. There are things like that, but for generally the offer is for 12 months. Yeah. If I have 100 scouts, I will be more comfortable to give 2-3 years.
Yeah.
With 2 scouts, I know my guys are gonna find more players, and I know we may have gotten 1 or 2 wrong. So you don't want to extend that for too long either.
What do you think as a parent if I'm looking, oh, my kid is really good at soccer. Look, he's out dribbling everybody. And like you said, he scored 10 goals in a game in some grassroots team. What should be a next step for a parent outside of looking for a club or an environment for them?
I think you always need to challenge your kid to the next level, whatever the next level is. At 5-6 years old, there is not really much of next level because all the levels are the same, just fun and play. At U11, U12, you already probably have leagues stronger than the others, clubs who put more resources or are better than the other. At U13 or 14, you have definitely better leagues than the others and better clubs than others. So I will always trying to challenge my kid. If I see my kid is scoring 4 goals a game, this is too easy for you. And the answer is always, oh, let's play a year up. Why play a year up? Messi never play up. Why don't just put myself in a harder environment? I don't understand why the solution is always, let's put my kid a year up. I'm going to say in the same club, I'm just going to play a year up. No, if I play in a 3rd division team in Spain and I score 4 goals a game, I'm not going up. I'm going to a 1st division team. That's the truth. If I'm in any pick a random 3rd division team in Spain and I'm dominant, I'm too good for this, I'm not playing up. I'm just going to a 2nd division one. And if I'm still dominant, I'm not going to a year up in that 2nd division team. I'm going to a 1st division team. I have parents that come to me like, is he going to play up in your team? No. I had the best teams I had the best players in the country. Your kid is not even the best in his team. He's the best in his team. He's not the best in mine. He's good enough to be in mine, but he's not the best in mine. Well, he plays 2 years up there. Yeah, he plays 2 years up there because he's playing with players who are terrible. And we to play with players who are at his level, but at his level is not bad. He's really good. I have 15 others who are really good. Come here and prove that you're better than those 15, and maybe I will challenge you by playing you up. But I think there is always that conception of I need to stay where I am and play up, or to me it would be just find something more challenging, just find the next level. And that goes for your entire career. You're a team player and you're done with your youth development. What's the best college you can play for? And when you are in that college now with the transfer portal and everything, what's the next college that you can go to? And when you're pro, you are in 5th division. Okay, can you go 4th? Can you go 3rd? Can you go 1st division? And you're in 1st division in Spain. Can you go to a Champions League team? And when you're in a Champions League team, can you be in a team that can actually win the Champions League? Eventually there is always a next level. And that's always my obsession. My obsession is always to be not only the best, but to be with the best. I'll continue to grow. And one of the things about Orlando City is we have the ambition to be the best academy in the country. Not just okay, not just average. We want to be the best.
I know MLS academies are playing up a year against MLS Next academies, right? It starts at U15. But are these kids who are elite, truly elite, and playing for the top MLS academies getting enough match time and exposure to elite competition week in and week out that's going to ultimately get them to that top level?
I think they're getting the best they can.
Yeah,
to be better. I
sure.
do think playing a year up is helping us. Last year we were winning every game, not every game, but a lot of games, 6-7-0. This year we lose games, we win games by 1 or 2. So I think that's helping to play against the MLS Next teams. And then, do we play enough games against MLS academies? No. Do we have the money to do it either? No. In Spain is twice the size of Florida, 46 million people, and land-wise probably twice the size, and has 150 professional teams. Florida has my friends, the Flamingos in the south, the pink ones, and then a couple of USL teams, Tampa Bay Roadies, Sarasota Paradise. There is a couple of them, but they don't really have a strong academy. Yeah, they have a good professional team, but academy is not an investment that they have done yet. So if I don't have 50 pro teams to play within 3, 4, 5 hours ratio, in Spain, where I'm from in the south, you probably can play a pro academy, but you probably can play 10 to 15 pro academies within 3 hours. I only have one pro academy. Teams, yes, but academy I only have Inter Miami, 3 hours for me. Everybody else I have to take a flight and I have to take a hotel night. So you know how expensive it is to fly 60 players or 50 players and 12 staff members to Atlanta, Charlotte, Nashville, Texas, pretty much every other weekend. So that's why I don't have more scouts, because I spend more money flying and in hotels. If I had a lot more professional academies and higher level locally, I didn't have to fly that much, to travel that much, because I would just drive or take a bus. I would save a lot of money in transportation and hotels, and I would put that money somewhere else. But it is important, we say, no, it is important to get challenging games. So we have to use that money for competition.
So let's put the MLS Pro teams aside for a second, but there's a huge middle class of pay-to-play teams in the United States, not just MLS Next, but all sort of assortment of leagues for youth. When you look at Spain, I'm just trying to see so maybe the viewers and listeners can have a comparison. The way I understand it is that, let's say you're a U13, U14. If you don't play in one of those academies or pro teams, and there's plenty of them, you're basically playing rec soccer with your friends in school. It's not a big deal. It's just what it is. It seems like here there's a giant middle class because it's a business. As long as parents or people are willing to pay, they'll keep telling you that your kid is almost good enough or almost has a path to go somewhere. Is that true?
I mean, it is. In Spain, you don't play rec soccer because even the pay-to-play clubs in Spain are really strong. Mm-hmm. It's really strong because the culture is really strong. So they have really good players and they have really good staff too. Yes, Barca has better staff than a pay-to-play club in Barcelona, but that pay-to-play club in Barcelona also have very good players and very good coaches, just because of the culture. Just because You do a UEFA Pro license and it's always hundreds of people in there. Here, we don't have that many coaches with higher qualification because one is expensive and second, just sometimes you don't need it to coach at those level, pay-to-play level. You could get paid well with not necessarily having a lot of licenses in this country. In Spain, you won't get a coaching job if you don't have at least a UEFA P. So that's one of the difference. In pay-to-play, back to what I was saying before, we all here for some sort of a business. We all have a business model. Everybody's a company. My business model is to develop players for the first team. Their business model is to cash in as early as possible. I cash in at the end of the journey. Player for me is free until one makes it to the first team, and now he's a $2 million player. And now I get back all my investment on that player. A pay-to-play model, you can't cash in anything at the end because you lose a player to college or to just have a Sunday league. A U19, they just retire from soccer and they're playing Sunday league right now with their friends or over 30 league or over 20 league. But you lose them at the end of their journey and you get nothing. So when you lose a customer at the end of the journey and you get nothing, you try to cash in on that customer during their journey, during their way. So a pay-to-play model, if that player is there from 8 to 18, that's the 10 years that they have to cash in. And that's it. That's just the reality of soccer in this world. It happens everywhere. It's just in this country, it's extremely expensive. In other countries in Europe, South America, it's still very affordable, so it doesn't feel that much about money. Here, I do have the feeling of players are a client, and the client's always right. Not necessarily the player, the parents are the client, and the client's always right. So that doesn't do well for the guy.
Look, it would be you have an MBA. It would be un-American to pay a lot of money for an inferior product. So we got to make sure the product is up there. That's just wow.
Oh man,
I'm a business person, but when you put it on a business word, it sounds bad. But is it wrong? Just because it doesn't sound the way we want it to sound doesn't mean that it's not true. And there are companies who have to pay bills, salaries, and benefits, and they have to find a way to do it. And it's not right or wrong. It's just the way it is. Players, some clubs, I do think that some clubs have the benefit of the player in their model. And when I reach out to some clubs like, hey, I want you this player, they immediately, Jose, go and bring him a trial. He's really good. The other players, and I ask for a player and they block me. They usually block me. I don't want to give you the guy. We're good enough. You're not better than me. I'm free to begin with. And it's already better by being free. You're not free.
And which parent wouldn't want to send their kid to Orlando City if they got a call?
Exactly. And that's something that I told them. I grew up in a different country, but I'm a Real Betis fan and I love it. I wake up at 5 a.m., 4 a.m. if I have to watch my team play. If I find out that my team reached out to you about me and you block me, I sue you. This is very but that's the truth. You're blocking the opportunity to play for the team that I grew up supporting. Why would you do that? Just because you think you are as good as me, or just because you think you're just gonna get money from me? No, that's not the right way of thinking. And again, not all the MLS, not all the pay-to-play clubs have. Some of them, the majority of them, and I would say the majority of them, when we reach out about our player, they are very helpful. Some of them are not.
Is it a tough decision sometimes for a parent, you think, where let's say you said they were a star in one team and you talked about always that moving challenge, but the kid got a lot of minutes, let's say on team A, and then they moved to Orlando, which is a much more competitive environment. But you know what? You go, listen, we're going to have your kid, but now instead of getting 80% of the play time, he's only going to get 30% to start with. You think that's a worthwhile trade-off for family?
Absolutely. I think when you're the big fish in a small pond, the next thing is to be a big fish in a big pond. So you need to find a bigger pond. And you're never going to know how big the pond you can be until you actually switch ponds. So definitely. And if you go to a bigger pond and you're the smaller fish, listen, that's life. That's triangle of life. That's how it is. But you gotta try. And if you don't try, you're never gonna find out. When I was in college, I used to tell that to my players, listen, you were the best player in your club. You were the best player in your club. You were the best player. You were the guy in your club. Well, I have 20 of the guys now. So that attitude of I'm the rock star, I'm the superstar that you come from because you were that guy in your club, here is over, and it's over quickly. Because you were the best player in your ECNL team, you were the best player in your MLS next team, you were the best player in your academy team, you were the best player in JUCO, whatever. Now I have all the best players here. Okay, my obsession was on recruiting, on getting the best. I got them all. You're welcome. Okay, now we have the best team. Fight, compete, make the best man win, and that's life. That's still life. So eventually, you need to put yourself in that scenario and compete with the best. It is better to be a 10 division team in first division in Spain than a number one team in third. Now, you do, but I won the league and my fans celebrate. Yeah. Your fans celebrate it and they're all super excited and they got promoted to second division, but you won third division. And that is the truth. I hate mediocrity. Give yourself a chance. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But you give yourself the chance. Go and compete. You're never going to go pro. You don't challenge your kid. Sometimes you lose. And if you are that player in the academy that you only play 30%, get better. Train harder. Train more. And if you get released at the end of the season, go back to your club, be the best player, continue to develop, and then come back again and be the best. And if not, try again. And eventually, you may make it to pro, or you may make it to college, or you can make it anywhere. But you look back and be like, I did my best. I tried my everything. I tried once, I failed. I tried twice, I failed. I tried 3 times, I failed. I wasn't good enough, but I tried. Versus, Orlando City wanted me at U14, but I say no because I'm the captain of my club. And then they never called me again, and I ended up playing Juco and retired at 22. Okay, well, that was your career, and I hope you're happy with it, but you had a chance at some point, you never took it.
Do you provide mental performance coaching in all ages in Orlando?
We do. We have a mental performance coach from the first team that helps in the academy, and next year is one of the positions that I requested for the academy to have a full-time mental performance coach exclusively for the academy, because she's great. But between the first team, the second team, and all the teams in the academy, it's a little much. So again, every department is understaffed. So it's finding that my job right now is finding where to put the resources. I need a mental performance coach full-time with the academy more than I need a third scout. I still need a third scout, but it's finding that those gaps. We need to provide a lot of services to the players to make them get there. That is one that I do feel we need to provide more. So right now we have a great mental performance coach in the first team, but she doesn't have the availability to help everybody. I have 120 players, so I need at least one full-time with the academy, and at some point I may have to have one per team. In Europe, you may pretty much have one per age group. We're not there yet.
Jose, we talk about this throughout our podcast around supplemental training, and there's some of the more well-known supplemental trainers and somewhat academies. How are you seeing that kind of through the players that you're recruiting that come into the academy, and what does that look like in the future, do you think?
It is important, but not important. It is, I was saying before, when we scout, we're evaluating what a teacher teaches. I think a supplemental trainer is a supplemental professor. If your kid is not doing well in math, you hire a math tutor. But a math tutor is not your full kid education. You do need a school curriculum. You need multiple teachers in a school. You need to have a class with the students at your level. There's a lot of things that you need to develop a player or to teach a student. A supplemental is supplemental. It has to be supplemental to something. Mm-hmm. So if it's supplemental to your club training, then to me, great. Keep doing it as long as you don't burn out, as long as it's not too much, because some kids really do too much. But as long as it's not, you don't get burned out, by all means, find supplemental training if you need something that you want to work on that you don't get enough in your club. Now, your supplemental training is not supplemental, it's your only training. Then we have a problem. Supplemental training, you probably don't have enough players to fill up 11 team. And even if you do, you probably have players who are really good combined with players who are not that good. You need to be in a team where everybody is somewhat equal. The goal will be bad, or the goal will be really good, but they all have to be at the same level. In a team, you have 3-4 guys who are top and 3-4 guys who are terrible, but you all have them together because you need players to take them to a tournament to fill up a 11-11 roster. Then you're not providing the best service for player development. And again, if it's supplemental, absolutely, by all means. My job is to teach my guy history, language, math, everything. We have a curriculum for exam. Every age group, we teach something different. If someone is missing something, and we train the hours that we train more than anybody, but we still train 2 hours a day. You need extra, go and find a supplemental training somewhere else. But if that's your only training, you're not going to go too far.
Great. Yeah, great. All right.
That was good, Matt.
Thank you.
That was very good.
Oh, man. It was such a pleasure to have you on, though. Thank you so much. Your perspective, just given what you've seen around the world, is incredible for us to listen to, and I'm sure our listeners. And they're lucky to have you down there. We're excited to see what you continue to build upon.
Thanks so much. Thanks you guys for having me. It's been a pleasure, and I really enjoyed it too.
Wow, in a Latin Florida accent. Oh man, this was stressful. Okay, so one of the things that stayed with me in this conversation, Matt, is the way Jose talks about young players. He says every player, and he does it with an accent and much better than me, but every player is missing something. That is such an important reset for all of us.
Because he is making a real distinction there, not between good kids and bad kids, good players and bad players, but between performance and potential. He says it directly. Performance is how good you are right now. Potential is how good you can be.
That may be the heart of this whole episode, I think, right? Especially in a system where families can get all caught up in what the bigger, earlier, faster, who's dominating at this moment in time.
Jose gave us a very clear line about what a serious academy is actually trying to do. We're developing professional players for our first team or eventually to sell them. And whether people like that phrasing or not, it's honest. Orlando City is trying to develop players who can move into the second team, the first team, and then, of course, beyond.
Yeah, and then there was another line that stayed with me. And he said, if I don't know what I'm looking for, I'm not going to find it. That applies to that scouting heart that he has. It applies to development, and honestly, it applies to families as well. You have to know what kind of environment is right for your kid and what your kid actually needs. Really difficult.
And maybe the most useful reminder for parents was how he framed challenge. Don't just stay comfortable. Don't just stay the big fish in the small pond. Keep finding that next level, that next real level.
Yeah, we should do the same for the podcast. But Jose, thank you for joining us.
And to everybody listening, or hopefully not watching, this episode gave you something useful. Please share with another soccer parent, coach, or player trying to find or better understand the pathway.
Como se dice a español, subscribe to the show.
We'll see you next time on Chasing the Game, Youth Soccer in America.
So long, Matt.
So long, Ron.